morning, everyone. I'm Noreen and welcome to my backyard. I thought I would give you guys a quick, or maybe not so quick, garden update. We've been really busy and doing all kinds of fun things in the house and in the kitchen and out here in the garden. The garden's pretty much in. I'm just sharing with you some of my daylilies that came in. It's been really hot here, so I don't know how much longer they're going to last, but I have an Easter lily over here that's trying to pop a blossom, but we'll see what happens. One of the most exciting things for me right now is my thornless blackberries have just erupted, and I have to cut these back a bit, but these are full of berries. Once these first crop come through, I understand that a second crop is going to come through as well. We're just waiting for these to ripen. I have another one inside the garden I'll show you as well. I've got tons of new shoots. This one here, this one is really tall, and I need to cut it back to like here. Somebody on YouTube I was watching, and I can't remember who it was, but he was also dealing with blackberry bushes. So the other thing about blackberry bushes is they really do, they push shooters here. Look, this is growing on the outside of the box, and then I just noticed this one is coming up through my deck stairs, so we'll have to maybe get rid of that one. And there's Sam. My blueberry bushes are doing really great. This one in particular has quite a bit of berries on it. This is, I think this is the third year we've had this shrub in. The rest of them are still a little bit young, so we are waiting. There's some berries on one of these over here too. Not a lot. You know, when they're like 2 years old, they'll throw a couple of berries at you, but then they just kind of stick their tongue out at you and they move on. This one over here, though, I don't know if you can see down at the base there, there are blueberries. It has also pushed some more shoots up out of the ground, so I'm really kind of happy about that. I had to bring you over here, show you what's going on the outside of the garden. Peaches. Lots and lots of peaches. I'm very excited about this. All of these branches here have lots and lots of peaches. I have culled a number of peaches from this tree already, but you can see we've still got a ton. There's a couple of, you know, shoots on this tree that don't have any fruit, and that's because those are new branches and they'll probably fruit next year. So I am very excited about my peach tree, which I have in a pot, and I had a lot of people ask me why I plant my fruit trees in a pot, and that is because I don't own my house. And what if I decide I want to move across town one day? I'm going to take these trees with me. It's just that simple. So my echinacea is coming in. My bee balm is coming in beautifully. I think it's getting ready to flower, actually. And here is my lime tree, and I don't know if you can see, but there are a ton of little limes coming in here. Just a ton. I'm very excited. Here's a really much better, if you can see, all those baby limes. This tree is happy. All of my citrus went in my greenhouse this year, so I'm really happy about that because it really did boost its ability to produce. That kind of rhymed, didn't it? I've got one lime up here that actually sprang forward. Let's see, can you see it? Yeah, there it is. While it was still in the greenhouse in early January, so you know, it's all good. Here is the plum tree that we planted, and you can see that it has leafed out. I'm gonna have to give it a little prune, and that's funny, I have to prune the plum tree. I never thought about that. That's just funny to me. Okay, all right. Here is my lemon tree, and you can see again tons and tons of blossoms. So we're gonna get some Meyer lemons this year. I had Meyer lemons last year, and I was very pleased. My biennial daisies, the ones I have in this metal watering can that I found on the side of the road because it obviously fell out of someone's vehicle, they're coming in this year. Of course, daisies only come in every other year. And I love them, and every time they come in even stronger. Here is lemon verbena, which I was very excited came back. I also have stevia plant that came back as well. Here is, well, what is this? This is a kumquat tree. I have another one up on the deck that I need to repot. Here is like this odd combination of peonies that never seem to bloom, and some lemon balm that's self-seeded, and I just leave it because I think it's pretty, and every year it comes back. And this needs to be pulled out because it's a mulberry bush and I hate them and they're a big nuisance. Here's my German chamomile, and you can see how beautiful that is. Because it's morning and it's warm out here, these are starting to dry up actually, and then another crop will come in. I like to just drop a couple of these flower heads down in the dirt and it'll repropagate itself. This is getting ready to get cut and hung. This is valerian plant, and so we use this. The leaves, I believe, are useful in tinctures and oils, etc. But we use mostly this for the root. Valerian is the natural derivative of Valium. Valium, of course, is all chemicals now, but you know. And these are pomegranate trees that I got off of the clearance rack at Lowe's. And I'm super stoked because if you look really close, can you see that? Those are pomegranates. And they come from these beautiful flowers. Let's see, I'm really being bad with the camera today, sorry. And what happens is when the flowers fall off, the little pomegranates come in. And I'm kind of happy about this because when we went to Colonial Williamsburg, they have at the governor's mansion there, they have an entire grove of pomegranate trees, from which I plucked a couple of pomegranates. I nicked them, and I brought them home, and I spray painted them gold, and I hung them on my Christmas tree. Is that wrong? There's no such thing as a bad souvenir, right? And here I have some, this is a hybrid hibiscus, and this is a standard hibiscus. These are both getting ready to flower, and I just recently learned that these are 100% useful in not only herbal medicine, but for tea, and the flowers and the leaves both you use to make tea, and it's a real energy boost for you. So I will be experimenting with that as well. We're going to make some hibiscus syrup, and we're going to make a drink that Bev enjoyed in Egypt, and she and I were talking about that, and I thought I can totally do that. These are just my hydrangeas, so you can see these are starting to bloom too. Obviously I need to give it more of an acid boost because the flowers aren't blue yet. If you give your hydrangeas an acid booster, they will turn blue. If not, they will remain white or pink. Grape. I planted a couple of grapevines. This is a red grape, and this is a white grape, and it has not decided it wants to do anything, so I guess it's red grapes. You can see I just have it on this trellis here, and we're going to see how that works. It's not obviously going to fruit this year, so I'm not really worried about it. Another hibiscus, and here, like, I'm very excited about these. I keep saying I'm very excited, and I am, because I love having things in my yard that produce food and medicine. These are elderberry bushes. I have two different kinds of elderberry bushes. I bought the variety pack. You saw them when I opened up the package from Stark Brothers. I planted these in 22-gallon pots as well, because if I ever have to move them and I'm not really sure where I want to put them on my property, this is the best place to do it. I understand they get very, very large, but that's okay. That's just okay. So we're just going to run with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off the camera for a moment. I'm going to go water all of the outside of the fence plants, and then I'm going to take you inside the garden and I'll show you what happens in there. Okay, we've come inside the garden, and this mess, pay no attention to the newspaper, folks. I'm not picking it up. I just let it mulch right back into the soil. This is the bed where I had my garlic. We have pulled up all the garlic, and it is currently drying inside the greenhouse, and I'll take you in there and I'll show it to you in just a little while. This fig tree has just really taken off. It has several little figgies on it. See, you can see here. There's figs starting to pop up all over the place. So we were going to have figs this year, which is awesome. We had some last year, but every year it'll just start to produce more and more. Tomatoes. These are, most of this bed is Lemon Boy. And there's two little patio tomatoes down here that I wanted to give a try. They have tomatoes on them. So, see here? Yay! Look at that. The Lemon Boys are also sporting some tomatoes. Let's see if I can find, here we go. And they're all in here. And I have, you know, judiciously taken branches off of these things, and it really does make a huge difference in how quickly they start to produce. Here's more. Okay, here's my pear tree. This thing is 2 years old. I think we're on our 3rd year with it. It's never produced anything. This is the first year. It's actually looked amazingly beautiful. And what I'm hoping is that next year we'll get some fruit. I understand it takes 2 to 4 years before they will fruit. So, you know, here's another view of this peach tree, which is just incredible. And I have to do some more culling on this thing. I mean, look at it. It's just full. It's just full of peaches. I'm not complaining. My rhubarb is looking beautiful. You come over here. And over here I have a couple of German Johnsons and Cherokee purples. Most of these are Cherokee purples. This one doesn't want to stand up. Last year I kind of conducted a bit of an experiment where I simply allowed the tomato to trail like it would if it were in nature. And I had the most amazing bumper crop of tomatoes I have ever experienced in my life. So I'm kind of debating on whether I want to do that or not. If not, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to string these up to some degree, but I know it's probably too late. These over here are Romas. So I love a good paste tomato, and this is typically my 3 favorite tomatoes. Lemon Boys, Cherokee purples, and Romas. I threw in the compact patio and the German Johnson for fun. I also threw in 4 classic standard eggplants. I did not grow eggplant last year, so this year I thought I'm going to do some eggplant, and it's all good. Over here I have some jalapeno plants that are trying to come in, but something's getting at them. I'm going to have to come out here with the dipel dust and something and figure out what to do. You will also notice in my garden that we have been hauling wood chips like mad, and we're still not done, and that's why a majority of my garden is like at rest this year, because we're really concentrating on soil development. Over here I have some varieties of tomatoes that I had not tried before, and let's see if I can find what these are, because that is not what they are. This is a tomato red bounty. It is a virus resistant variety, and I wanted to give those a try. And there's also a homestead tomato. So, you know, I started out the season going, I'm not going to plant a bunch of tomatoes, but guess what? I ended up planting a bunch of tomatoes. Over here I have my King Arthur peppers. And then over here is that other black raspberry bush, the thornless black raspberry bush. You can see how much fruit it has on it. I mean, they are just starting to turn color. I'm very excited about this because in all the time that I have had these bushes, which is like 3 years, they have never once fruited. So I'm obviously doing something right, but it is a testament to patience, okay? It is definitely a testament to patience. I'm going to have a bumper crop of berries this year. You can see. They're all over. And I'm sure that the birds are helping themselves as well. I also have some raspberry bushes that are just starting to fruit. You can see. And that's the first time that those have done anything. They've also put up a whole bunch of suckers. So we're not at a loss for raspberry bushes, let me tell you. I have some sage in here. my oregano, which I used to have in the back of the garden, and I just dug it up with a shovel and plopped it right in this box, and it's taken right off. And my thyme, which I thought I lost, has come back. I love it when you lose thyme and it comes back. Isn't that little play on words there? And this is my comfrey, and there's some more comfrey. And these are Comfrey originalis, and I'm very fortunate to have them. I got them at the Historic Society plant sale last year, and they really are, they're not Russian comfrey, they're official comfrey essentially. And I have a jar inside of some comfrey leaves steeping in olive oil because I plan on making comfrey salve, and I will take you along for that journey. I'll show you the jar full of comfrey before we leave today. I've got chives in my apple pots. These are my apple trees, which I don't know if I'm going to get any fruit this year, but we'll see. These also take 2 to 3 years before you get fruit. So, and that's a shadow cat who's really enjoying himself. Shadow man, what are you doing? Oh, okay. Enough cuteness. Here's my other fig tree, and I assume that next year this tree will be about the same size as that one. Last year this was in a little 8-inch pot, and now it is about 3 feet tall. So, you know, yes, and you see a lot of cardboard because we totally bedded down the garden with cardboard, and I have some boxes here that are overgrown with clover. We're going to leave those. We're going to cover them with newspaper, and we're going to start doing the wood chips. You can see in the back there, we are coming, you know, steadily closer with the wood chips. A lot of that has already broken down. So here's my little bed of strawberry plants. This big one here has been here for 2 years, and I'm letting it fruit. These others, I'm pulling all of the fruit and flowers off of it because I want it to do this. You see what this is doing? This is creating runners, so I have more strawberry plants for next year. And then ultimately, see, all you do is this. I know it hurts. Get out of there. I don't like pulling flowers off either, but when you pull the flowers off, it sets out runners, and that's the most important thing, because you know what runners are? They're free strawberry plants that you didn't have to pay for. That's the best part. But look at, like this one. This one's going to have 3 runners on it already. I'm sorry, the camera is bad. This one, like I said, I'm letting it fruit. It's only going to fruit a little bit this year because it's not a very large plant to begin with. And this is my monstrosity of a rosemary bush, which literally is inside of a pot. And I'm going to have to pull that out, slice it in half or in 4s, and share it with the neighbors, I think. Don't ever plant your rosemary in the ground because it will take over everything. Here's another apple pot with chives, which are getting ready to go to seed, and I just let them do it. And yet another apple pot. The back half of my garden, the back third of my garden here, not only are we, you know, we're covering it over, we are going to build a chicken coop back here and incorporate that into the garden. It will be fully enclosed, and we'll see how that works out. So hopefully for next spring we will have chickens. Cucumbers, which I bought some cucumbers, plants, put them in the ground. Several of them didn't make it. And then I got frustrated, and I just came out here and I literally threw a packet of seeds in the ground just to see what it would do. And they all came up, so I'm very happy. And I'm just going to let them do whatever it is cucumbers do. And then the last thing that we have here are 3 different varieties of cherry tomatoes. We have a yellow grape tomato, a regular grape tomato, and a super sweet 100. We always have fantastic luck with super sweet 100s. This will bumper crop now all the way through October or November in my area. The others, probably the same. I've had the yellow grape tomatoes, or the little baby pear tomatoes is what it is. And they have stamina like nobody's business. So, but you know, to be honest with you, with regard to like the lemon boy tomatoes, I was still pulling lemon boys out of my garden in November of last year, so no complaints there. And my last word of advice for any of you who may not be familiar with them: no matter how badly you think you want to plant morning glories, please don't do it, because in my naivete, early in my gardening experience, I thought, I'm going to plant morning glories and I'm going to have them go all the way over my trellis. Stupidest decision of my life, because now we're constantly pulling morning glories out of the garden, because along with the cockroaches, the morning glories are going to survive the nuclear holocaust. I'm convinced. So I'll give you a little shot here. There's the peach tree and the tomatoes and the fig tree. Everything is greening up beautifully. And I'm going to take you over, I'm going to close up the garden, take you over and show you the garlic, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're in my little greenhouse that Rick built me. Here's that garlic. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. You see, these garlic are huge. I'm so happy with them. Some of them are tiny, but you know what? Live and learn. I learned a lot of lessons. This is the first time I ever did garlic. I can't complain. It did what it was supposed to do. I planted tiny little cloves and I got great big heads. So, you know, some of them are really, really big and some of them not so big, but still probably really delicious. So, all right, I'm going to go inside now and I'm going to show you the comfrey oil. Okay, this is, let me see, my comfrey oil. And I literally stuffed this jar full of comfrey. This is all I did, folks. I didn't take a scissor or anything. I went outside and I went to the under part of the comfrey plant and I just started yanking leaves off of it, okay? Just as simple as it gets. Just go out there and yank some from the under portion, and if you get some thick, heavy, rooty looking branches, all the better. Because I came in and I kind of gave those leaves a rinse under some cool water in my sink, and then I took those woody stems and I beat them with a hammer, and then I stuffed this jar so full of leaves that you didn't think you could get anything else in there. And then I took my olive oil, this bottle of olive oil I have used since. I used about half of it in this jar, okay? Every day I come and I give that a turn. I give it a little bit of a zhuzh, and then I take a skewer and I give it a poke. Okay? So what you want to do is you just want to agitate this and you want to get all of that goodness out of that comfrey and into the oil. Now, you're going to ask, why do you have your comfrey oil jar in a bowl? Well, my jar, unbeknownst to me until it was too late, and I happened to notice it was getting a little oily on the outside when I would turn it, there is a hairline crack in this jar. So because I only have to keep it in here for a little while longer, I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it, and I'm just going to put it in this bowl with a little paper towel to catch any drips. And really, it's not leaking that bad. It was leaking bad enough for me to notice, but not bad enough for me to want to go find another 2-quart jar and do that, because I'm going to use this jar until I can't use this jar anymore, if you know what I'm saying. So that is our garden update for now. I will bring you back in a little while and I'll show you again what the progress is like, and don't worry, when I go to make the hibiscus syrup and all that good stuff, I'll share that with you too. So if you have any questions, leave them for me. I'll be happy to answer anything that I can, and if I can't, I'll hopefully be able to direct you to someone who can. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get out in your garden and grow something this year too, because knowing how to grow food is the most important thing in the world right now, or ever. So I hope you try it. I hope you love it, and until next time, I'll see ya.